Hello YouTubers. So this is a very complete solar system. Why is it complete? Because we have solar panels, we have very sophisticated batteries and a very sophisticated hybrid inverter. Want to find out more? Stay tuned. My name is Roger Sherman. This is Ecocentro. So this system consists of this very nice Solarc 15 kilowatt hybrid inverter, okay, and connected to an array up on the roof, and then we've got this home grid battery system, this one consisting a stack of 4 batteries. Wow, just look at this location, isn't it gorgeous? And here's what we did here. We had a tricky roof, we had lots of domes and other things to deal with, so basically we built this fantastic pergola made of concrete. We added the panels on specialized bespoke racking above it, so super secure, and also provides some much needed shade. Not the best solar day I've ever seen here on the Riviera Maya, but it's beautiful. I love these blustery days, and amazing. I was just checking the solar production, it's still producing despite being totally overcast, and it was actually drizzling, rather like England. Oh, out of the wind now. So this is just a gorgeous house, available for rent, vacation rental, should anybody be interested in it. Be delighted to give you details, and we'll put you in touch with the owners. But this is a house that would be paying tens of thousands of pesos in electricity, but thanks to the panels, they're paying very little. Let me give you a quick look at how the house. Lovely beachfront location, really nice kitchen area. It's always great to go and see an installation that's completely done. I remember back to the first day I came and saw this house. It had recently been purchased by the current owner. It was being remodeled, and we started to formulate a plan of how we could install panels up on what would have been otherwise a very complicated roof, and doing it by placing those very solid concrete pergolas, concrete columns and beams, and then placing the panels on top of them using bespoke, actually what is known as carport racking. And the other thing is, unfortunately, this zone has very shady electricity, and they've had a lot of problems with electricity supply, and you're going to see why in a second. Regular grid-tied systems do not need batteries. However, regular grid-tied systems do not work when the power goes out. So the huge advantage of having battery backup is that your system will continue to work with or without the presence of CFE. And I'm going to show you the monitoring on this particular system so you can see how it deals with outages. So here's part of the problem, the cables running very close to trees and through the trees and very exposed. Okay, so as promised, I'm showing you the monitoring at the site. This was a night where they were very glad to have had batteries, because the load was fairly consistent through the night. They were running air conditioners, etc. But about 7 o'clock in the morning, the power went off. So you can see it jumps down to 0. The grid is supplying, and at this point we started discharging batteries. So the load was still relatively high, somewhere between about 4 kilowatts, and at this point went up to 7 kilowatts. The solar starts producing because the sun's coming up, and then here we'll see an intersection. So at this point the batteries start recovering, so they got down to about 60%, and then they start recovering, and you'll see that by 12 o'clock the batteries had recovered completely to 100%. The grid came back on at approximately 11:45. So basically these people would have been out without electricity from 7 in the morning to about 11:45. Would have been very uncomfortable, very unpleasant. And even if they'd had regular solar, they wouldn't have had power in the house. But because they have a battery system with a hybrid inverter, they basically had a pretty normal morning, consuming whatever they wanted to. And as you can see, once the grid was back on and the solar was producing a lot of power in the middle of the day, the batteries are 100% waiting for whenever the next outage might be. So if you'd like to find out about how a system like this could help your situation. If you're fed up with outages, please get in touch with us. We'll be happy to give you a quote.